What's up, everybody? Crash here. Welcome back to Crash Gets the Spread, where we talk about sports from a betting perspective. It is Monday, December 2nd, and I apologize for no Sunday NFL video. Thanksgiving got a little busier. I was traveling on Saturday night. Didn't get around to it. It's been a shitty couple days, so trying to get back into my routine. Um, you know, get back into the flow of things. Give you guys the picks that you came here for. So. Um, I had a bad Saturday, sports wise. Sunday was bad, not so sports wise. But um, Saturday, I think that I probably just should have laid off some of those college football games. I was trying to flip a number and get to a certain number before Sunday, and end up losing on that Ohio State game. So going to be a little more chill on those games. Sunday had a couple chances to get a couple things, but I was thwarted, I want to say, by the Texans and Jags game. 1 o'clock window I couldn't watch. I was at work. Had the 4 o'clock window pretty right. Lost with the Saints game. And Bills and 49ers, I had under 44.5. You get that 45.5. So under 44.5, total got to 45. Terrible way to lose. But now we're at Monday. Broncos and Browns. Broncos are at home. Browns are 4-7 against the spread. Broncos are 9-3 against the spread. Broncos 6.5-point home favorites. Totals are 42. Jameis Winston is 2-2 straight up and against the spread since he took over for Deshaun Watson earlier this season. Bo Nix 7-3 in his last 10, with losses only to Kansas City, Baltimore, and the Chargers, which in hindsight looks like a pretty good resume. Beating everybody else but those three teams is pretty decent. We know that KC has been the lucky team with either the refs' help or rabbits' feet in the pocket the whole season, but to only lose to those three teams in the last 10 games, pretty good no matter who you're playing. Winston has wins against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, which on paper look pretty good, but Browns seem to show up against their division. Outside that, they have losses to the Chargers also, and the Saints, which only thing I can say about the Saints for Jameis Winston is that team does know him, so coming from that team, they probably know a little bit of his tendencies and mannerisms, and the defense might be able to jump the gun on some of his things. So they lost that one, 35-14. Another thing for that point though, Sean Payton also knows Jameis Winston. So Sean Payton's with the Denver Broncos now. Coached Winston in 2020 and 2021 when he was back up to Breeze, and he started the 2021 season for 8 games until he tore his ACL, and then Sean Payton stepped down from coaching the Saints at the end of that season. So he also knows Jameis, and I think he's been game planning for him as well. Denver pass rush, pretty good. Jameis doesn't really hold the ball too long, so he doesn't get sacked a lot from pressure. One of the least sacked quarterbacks from pressure, but he will take a sack if nobody's open, which is weird. So instead of having foresight to throw away the ball in those situations, he will take a sack instead of throwing the ball away. But he will get rid of the ball quickly in short passing situations and things like that. So it's either a huge play, a sack, or a turnover with Jameis, which is why it's kind of hard to handicap him specifically. Cleveland's having a hard time running the ball, and Denver stops the run anyway, so that might not be open to them. So Jameis might have to rely on his arm for most of the game, which not necessarily the best look for the Browns. It's a better situation when they can get Nick Chubb going, but he's averaging 3 yards a carry this season. Bo Nix is better at home. The running back situation for Denver is kind of weird also. They have Javonte Williams, but in the last game, he had negative yards, and McLaughlin was the leading rusher with 40-something yards. So still nothing to write home about, and it shouldn't be much easier to run on this Denver defense. So Browns on the road. Browns have really only beat Jacksonville this year on the road. They're 1-4 on the road, so trusting them to beat a Broncos team is kind of rough. But we don't need to see if we're going to win. We're trying to see if they're going to cover this 6-point spread or not. I do like points. I don't think that they're going to be shut out. This is a revenge game for Jerry Jeudy. He was vocal about leaving Denver recently, and now he's back to play him. So that's another thing. Denver might know Jeudy also, so might either stay away from him or know his routes, know his potential route running. And Denver's red zone defense, first in the league, so they only allow 39% touchdown conversions in the red zone, which means 60% of the time when you get down there, Denver's going to turn you away or hold you to 3 points. So I want to lean on the Broncos in this game. I kind of wish the spread were a little lighter, but in a situation where we're at the end of the game, Cleveland down, by a touchdown, needing to go down the field and score, or are we counting on Jameis Winston to not throw a pick in that dire situation with that Denver pass rush? So I think the 6 is warranted. I think the 6 is scary because of that big play potential in Jameis Winston. But I like the over. I like the over for sure. Kind of like the Broncos, leading Broncos. We'll see if I stay on them. I do have them in a parlay. We'll see if they make the straight bet. So those are going to be my picks. Also like Bo Nix anytime touchdown, Jerry Jeudy over in receptions because they might let him catch it. I don't know how far they're going to let him run with it. And Jameis Winston over interceptions. So those will be my picks. Lock those in. Let's get this money, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.